When the Chicago Bulls traded for Nikola Vucevic at the trade deadline, everybody was thinking that the Bulls robbed the Magic and that this move would make the Bulls way better and that it would help them make the playoffs and all that. But ever since they traded for him, the Bulls have been absolutely terrible, as in their last 17 games with him, they have been having a record of 6-11, which is not that good. And right now, they're not even on pace to make the play-in tournament, let alone the playoffs. So with the way they've been playing, I decided in today's video I'll be telling you some things that are wrong with the Chicago Bulls. Before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video to help my channel grow, subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content and to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and comment on this video to start a conversation with me as I respond to all of my comments, and play that intro. The first reason the Chicago Bulls have been really bad as of late is the fact that when they traded for Nikola Vucevic, everyone believed that it would take their below average offense to an above average one, since Vucevic is a 20 plus points per game scorer who is very efficient and who isn't a ball stopper or a ball dominant player. But surprisingly, even though Vucevic has been good on the Bulls in his 17 games, as he's been averaging 22 points, 10 rebounds, shooting 51% from the field and 43% from three, you would have expected it to elevate their offense, but they have still been pretty bad. Since their last 15 games, they have averaged 108 points, which would rank 22nd in the entire league. That's actually worse than they were before Vucevic. And a big reason their offense has sucked is the fact that they haven't been shooting well from three. A lot of their best shooters as of late have been very inconsistent and they have missed a lot of wide open shots. In their last 15 games, they rank 19th in the league in 3-point percentage. The Bulls also have absolutely been terrible at getting to the free throw line, as in their last 15 games, they rank dead last in the entire league in free throw attempts, which is a very underrated part about offense, since if you could get a bunch of easy free points, it could really help you out. And on a team that isn't crazy offensively talented like this team, they could definitely use some extra points each game. But being dead last is definitely not a positive. A big reason they have struggled on offense is because of Lavine, who has been injured now and he has missed some games. But in the 9 games he played with Vucevic, he hasn't been as good as his usual self, as he's been averaging 25 points, but he shot 44% from the field and 33% from three, which isn't the worst thing. And it's not like completely his fault, but he just hasn't been his usual self and hasn't played up to his usual high standards. And their offense being so bad with Vucevic kind of makes me worried for their future, since if they have been this bad while Vucevic and Lavine have been playing pretty good, they need to make some big changes this off season. But I'm not going to try and overreact to 15 games, but this is definitely a big problem with this team. The second reason the Chicago Bulls have been really bad as of late is because when they traded for Nikola Vucevic, many people believed that it would make their defense only a bit worse, since Vucevic is at best an average defender and they traded Wendell Carter Jr. to get him, who was an above average defender. But most assumed their offense will go up, so it wouldn't matter that much. But the Bulls have been really bad on defense as of late, as in their last 15 games they have the 20th ranked defensive rating, which is way worse than they were before. And if their offense was going to get worse, you would have at least hoped that they could improve on defense somehow, but that simply hasn't been the case, since Vucevic is a center who is better as a guy who guards opposing big men one-on-one at a not terrible level. But when it comes to guarding the pick and roll, he constantly gets abused and he always drops, which allows the opposing team's guards to get open jump shots. And if he steps up, 9 times out of 10, he's absolutely going to get blown by. And Vucevic also isn't a good help defender, since he's not super quick and he can't jump that high. And I think the way he could fix this is if this year's offseason, the Bulls make a bunch of moves to get more defenders to surround Vucevic and Lavine. Because obviously, those guys are their future, so you can't just move them. So you have to try and build a good defense around them. This is a team that has a bunch of average to below average defenders on their team. Guys like Vucevic Vucevic, Lavine, Kobe White, and Lauri Markkanen are average at best. But I think Markkanen and White are actually below average, and their best defenders are guys like Thaddeus Young and a rookie in Patrick Williams, which is not that good. This team just needs to fix their defense and their offense, or at least become very good at one of them, just kind of like the Atlanta Hawks, because they will continue to be an 11th seed if they don't change that. The third reason the Chicago Bulls have been bad since the Nikola Vucevic trade is simply because this is a roster that doesn't fit well together, and they're just not that talented that much. Although their duo of Vucevic and Lavine is a pretty good duo, and I think it's good enough a duo to build around and make a solid playoff team around, their supporting players are absolutely dreadful outside of Thaddeus Young, who, if the Bulls were better, he probably should have been in the Sixth Man of the Year award discussion at least. He's very underrated, by the way. But guys like Kobe White play way worse than his stats show because of his inconsistency and his inefficiency, and Lauri Markkanen's numbers of 14 points shooting 39% from 3 look solid, but he isn't as good as his numbers say, as he's a negative on defense and he's inconsistent, and when he isn't shooting the ball well, he's not really doing anything else on the court. I think on a different team he could be a good role player, but on the Bulls it's just a no. And just in total, this is just not a talented team. I feel like they need to have an offseason similar to the Atlanta Hawks did last season, and then they could be solid again. I've watched some of the games of this team, and it's just hard to watch, to be honest. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with what I said in this video. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content and help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And comment on this video, start a conversation with me. I'll respond to all of my comments. And I'm out.